Welcome to Vinyasa, feeling the flow. From sitting, we can lay on back into Shavasana, feet turned out, palms turned up, and feeling the beauty of lying against Mother Earth as we take that divine journey deep within to establish our full yoga breath. We know that we're free to breathe deeply and we're free to feel all that we are without censorship. As we allow the breath to come in through the nostrils and expand into our lower belly, the breath will rise up and expand the ribs, float into the chest as our collarbones gently lift towards our face. And as we exhale, we allow a softening out of the chest, ribs to move back down and towards each other, and for the belly just to naturally flatten out once again. A new breath awakens that prana into our being, as we allow that joyous feeling of breath rising all the way through to the collarbones. And as we exhale, we want to ensure that the length of our exhalation matches the length of our inhalation. So we settle into our own rhythmic breath. We settle into what feels natural for us in terms of the length of our breath. All that's important is that we are breathing as deep and as full and as even as we can, whatever that means for us. The beauty of pranayama is that we come into our own natural flow. We feel the flow awaken within us, and we take this flow into our yoga asana practice, so that even in a vinyasa class we can feel lightness because we have become intimate with the breath, this boundless force within us, harnessing the very forces of the universe, prana. So beautiful. Allow it to seep and to soak into every cell, into every crevice of your physical body, and then to expand out into your metaphysical body. We allow the body to start to move. Continue with that breath and just floating the head from side to side. It's very relaxing. There's a gentle awakening of that whole cervical spine, and you might hear a couple of clicks or cracks as the neck just gently realigns, ensuring that your breath is synchronized with the movement. As the head comes to the side, there's an exhalation, and as the head centers, there's an inhalation. And just feel and relax, shoulders softening down into Mother Earth. And we're coming into our final neck release to the side. As we continue to work this whole neck area, we're going to just, first of all, bring the feet up by bending the knees, feet flat down. Now feel the leg come into the spine, and then exhale, bring the chin into the chest. And continue, inhale as the head's down, exhale, chin into chest. See if you can keep the shoulders soft and drawing down into your mat, using the exhale to pick the chin up, and the inhale to bring the head back down. Just again, feel that full lengthening through the cervical spine, and it'll bring it up through the thoracic spine as well. So we turn the head to the side on the inhale and exhale, bringing the chin up. So another couple of times, it's like on an oblique angle, and you're bringing the chin towards your shoulder, keeping the shoulders soft. So now we want to set ourselves up, flowing to the other side, and use the exhale to bring the chin towards the shoulder. Inhale the head down, exhale to bring the head up. Inhale the head down, exhale to bring the head up. Inhale to bring the head down, and centering there with the head, drawing the knees up and into the chest. Very important now that we keep the lumbar spine really grounding down into our mat as we draw our knees in. Then inhale, draw the knees out to the side, and exhale, draw the knees down. And inhale, reach up for the ankles, and exhale, draw the knees down. And let's try it one more time. If it's possible for you, flex the feet, hold the sides of the feet, and then use the exhale to bring those knees down. Beautiful happy baby pose. And then just rocking side to side, breathing all the way. Feel the lovely massaging effects through the spinal column, It's a great way to bring the erector spinae muscles that run either side of the spine, just moving them away from your spinal column, giving a lot of space for more nutrient, more nourishment in and around your spine. So beautiful. Should feel really nice for you, but if you've got any discs that are jutting out, just make sure you've got a cushion or something handy just to support yourself. Let's pull those knees down and into the chest, and now massaging the spine in a vertical fashion. So we want to build some momentum as we rock forwards and back. You don't have to take the feet to the floor, you just kind of pull the bandhas up as you sit up, and then maybe you can tap the feet a little bit closer to the floor as you roll down. Perhaps now this will be our last one. Tap those feet to the floor, pull the bandhas in as you sit up to cross legs. Place the hands down with the fingers spread out. Bring the hips over the knees as you float yourself back there into all fours, and then inhale, draw the navel to the spine, and exhale, drop the navel down, open yourself to a beautiful Simhasana. Then inhale, draw yourself into Vinyasa. It's a beautiful cat pose. So now I know a lot of people call this cat-cow combination. The way I was taught was cat-lion. So whatever you call it is perfect for you. It's the same motion, giving that lovely massaging effect through your spinal column, trying to broaden across the heart center there on your final one, and curling your toes under, coming into a modified dog. You've already got the lovely tilt and separation of the sit bones to fly you into this beautiful dog pose. You can draw those heels down into the earth, move the ribs towards the spinal column, and allow the shoulder blades to drop down the back so there's nice length for you. If you can, harness the thighs back towards the sky, and then inhale, look over the hands and draw your shoulders over the wrists, and exhale, dog pose. And inhale. It's almost like you're coming into a version of plank, but not the full version. You're just getting the wave of energy flowing along the spine, and exhaling, coming back to downward facing dog. And inhale, look up between the hands, and this time exhale, step the feet in, hip width apart, 2 fingers wrap around the big toes, and we'll inhale, look out into the distance. Exhale, bend our elbows and draw ourselves lovingly into our legs. So it's nice and strong through the back body. The whole bladder meridian is really expanding and flowing with energy. You can tilt the sit bones and ground the heels down as you continue to inhale, look out to the distance, and exhale, fold your way in. And then just start to pull up Uddiyana Bandha each time you look out into the distance. That'll float some more energy along the spine. We're taking a variation only if it suits you, sliding the hands under the feet. Inhale, look out into the distance, and exhale, bend your elbows and draw yourself deeper into the legs. Inhale, feel the length along the spine, look out into the distance. Exhale, bending those elbows, drawing yourself in, really keeping the hollow of Mula Bandha. So scooping up through that lower belly area can help create space to go into a deeper fold. Just working this as it feels right for you, and of course bend your knees if you need to. So we'll just take those hands around now to the back of the legs. You're really secure into this pose now, so see how you go. Inhale, look out into the distance. Exhale and fold your way in. Inhale, look out into the distance. Exhale, fold. You're really feeling it in the hamstrings, so remember, honor your body and your pose. Do what feels natural. So finding your last one and letting yourself really surrender. Let go. Beautiful. And we're going to just turn the feet out at 45 degrees, sitting ourselves down into squat. You can take the feet wider if you need to. If you can, draw the knees up into the armpits. It's going to get a lovely trigger point there. So lovely release into your scapula and into your small intestine meridian. Hands can be in Anjali Mudra if it serves you today. Really base down through your base chakra, aiming it into Mother Earth, and then reach up through all of the chakras, right through the spine. So bring yourself back, legs straight, tuck yourself in one more time, and then inhale, really engage your abdomen, standing all the way up, arms above the head, and exhale, stepping on up to the top of the mat into Tadasana. Inhale, float the arms wide and look up between the hands. Exhale and fold Uttanasana, This time, hands beside the feet. Inhale, look out into the distance, and exhale, step or jump the feet back into plank, and it's lowered chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So I'm going to move a little bit faster today than I normally would. So if you need to, just take extra breaths, pause the video whenever you need to. Really just assume that you know what you're doing with your Vinyasa flow, and you can just keep on flowing. Inhale, look out into the distance. Exhale, bend the knees, point the sit bones towards the sky. Weight to the hands and step or jump through Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, Uttanasana. Press down to rebound energy up through the legs. Inhale, draw the arms out from the side body. Looking up between your hands, and exhale, Tadasana. Find your alignment. As we flow on, inhale, Utkatasana, bend the knees, squeeze the knees together, use the side body to draw the arms up, look up between the hands. Exhale, pull the hands down through prayer pose, straighten the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, length through the spine. And again, I'm flowing straight into lowered plank, so you just take your time. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So we'll all meet back in downward facing dog, have a wriggle till we find ourselves aligned in this pose. And then as we flow on, inhale, right leg sweeps up behind. This time square the outer hip with the floor and flex the foot. Then bend the knee, little hover, and take the foot through, heel to arch alignment, back foot at 90 degrees to the front foot. Inhale, flow yourself up. You want to wrap your back arm around for a bind, and your top arm reaches onto an angle. If you can, you look up to the underside hand. Inhale, set yourself up now for Pajvakonasana. It can be beginner's version. You can go a little bit deeper, take the hand down. Really tuck under through that front leg hip and roll the outside edge of the back foot into the floor. Continue to breathe. Inhale, look down. Bind your pose. So wrap your arm across the lower back or maybe onto the thigh. 2 fingers on the inside of the big toe. Straighten out through your front leg. Here's our bound Trikonasana, Baddha Trikonasana. So you're straightening that front leg and you're revolving from the navel center. Got a lovely bound pose here. Just work to where it feels right for you. Keep on breathing. Looking down, deep bend into that front knee. You can extend your front arm out into the distance. Drag your back leg into the sky. So now you're in a bound version of Ardha Chandrasana. So, see how it feels for you. Maybe you're going to look up. Don't worry if it's not feeling right for you. You can look down if you want to take this variation, release that arm out of its bind, and then hold onto your top foot. Take a moment to balance. Inhale, and then exhale. Push the foot into the hand to release the leg a little bit higher. And only as an option, if you can get your balance today, see how you go. And then start to draw your bottom hand away, tap onto your heart, and maybe you can hold. Or if you fall out a few times, don't worry. Just keep on breathing. Falling out's all part of the fun of yoga. Be playful. So when you're ready to come down, release that top leg, deep bend into the front knee, and then step your back foot down, heel to arch alignment, and let's just take it back to Pajvakonasana. Press into the feet, inhale. Draw yourself up straight. Exhale, turn that front foot around. Have a little wriggle. Have the feet parallel to the outside edge of the mat, and inhale, hands to the hips. Look on back. Exhale, fold your way forward. Maybe you can bring the crown to the floor. Don't worry if you can't, you can bend your knees. As a variation, you can just simply extend your arms back behind you. A little inhale, Uddiyana Bandha. Exhale. Creep those hands back a little bit more, tucking the head under. But again, just doing what feels right for you today. Your head may be nowhere near the floor. You may want to be on the fingertips with the knees bent. That's your perfect, beautiful pose, and I want you to enjoy it and celebrate it. Keep breathing. And as we start to come out, let's all bring the hands back in line with the toes. Draw yourself up, bandhas engaged, and then turn your way around to the top of the mat. Step on back for plank, chaturanga. Here's that vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Try and lift the back thighs off the floor, and then exhale, downward facing dog. So here we go. Inhale, draw that left leg straight up behind, square the outer hip with the floor and the foot is flexed. Bend the knee and draw that foot through between the hands, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, flow on up. You can either have your arm coming, just hanging on the lower back, or it might wrap onto the thigh, and the top shoulder blade remains down as you gaze up. So transition, Parsvanottanasana. On the exhale, come down maybe a little bit deeper, tucking under through that front leg hip, and see if you can gaze to the stars and beyond. Continue to breathe and let go. So take it back into a bind. Thread the index finger and middle finger around the big toe, straighten out through the front leg, tuck the front hip under, run energy along the spine on the inhale, and on the exhale, revolve from the navel center and gaze on up. One plane of alignment if it serves you today, so that you're not trapping energy in the hip, it's coming along the spine. Deep bend into the front knee. Step and drag that back leg up into Ardha Chandrasana. So here you are, it says Baddha. Baddha always means bound. Baddha, Ardha Chandrasana, so bound half moon pose. You can extend the arm up if you're taking this variation to hold the top foot. Remember to take an inhale and then exhale, push the foot into the hand, and maybe you're going to really gather the strength in the leg and in the bandhas and see if you can just progressively work to take the bottom hand away, holding your heart and breathing. Bring that hand back down, extending your top leg, deep bend into your front knee, step your back foot down and just find yourself here again in your beautiful Parsvanottanasana. So feel that extension, and when you're ready, press down and inhale, draw up. Exhale, turn that front foot in. Remember, hands into the hips, use the heel of the hand to reach into the trigger points on the buttocks as you flow on back, and then exhale, Uttanasana. So find where you want to be. This is your practice. That's what I love about yoga. We just find where we need to be day to day. We could be challenging ourselves to go a little bit deeper, or we might find that we just need nourishment and nurturing to take a much lighter version within the pose. You may have that version with the hands back, spreading the fingers, and you might even want to visualize yourself going into a headstand. That can come later if you're starting to work into advanced poses, but why not visualize it now? Because when the mind wraps around the pose, that's when the body will follow. Coming out, hands come down, inhale, really give yourself some support as you spiral back around to the top of the mat with the hands, coming through the Vinyasa. Just feel the joy of the open heart on upward facing dog, and that sacred energy, downward facing dog, a pose that millions and millions of people have done for thousands of years. Such a classic. So really just enjoy this one. Keep on breathing. And as we start to flow on, we're going to think about the theme of our class today, feeling the flow. So let the breath take over as you look up between the hands. Exhale, bend the knees, pull back. Wait into the hands to step or jump the feet up to Ardha Uttanasana, and the exhale is Uttanasana. Sink down into the knees and the hips. Inhale, Utkatasana, Yogi's chair. Reach on up, and then bring those hands down through prayer pose. And just taking a moment to pause before we inhale, flow the arms up, and then exhale, fold on down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Let the flow take over. Don't think your way through the practice. Move. That's why Vinyasa is so wonderful. We know this little sequence. We can just move with breath. Beautiful. So we're back in downward facing dog. Inhale, float that right leg up. We're going to point the toe this time. And then on the exhale, bend the knee. And then step the foot through between the hands, and your back foot this time is 45 degrees. Heel to heel alignment. Flow on up for Virabhadrasana 1. So see if you can work that front knee over the ankle joint while rolling down through the outside edge of the back foot and working on aligning those hips. Keep that alignment as you take the left hand back onto the leg, and then the right hand take chin mudra, so index finger and thumb together and reach back. Inhale, lengthen arms up. Exhale, work your way into a fold. Take your time if you need to get extra length, and then extend those arms out in front. Just let yourself hang. You can either bend the front knee, or if you really want to work this pose, harness the energy through that front leg by engaging up through the kneecap. Plenty of weight going down through the feet so we're nice and stable. So work the hands back, draw yourself halfway up, bend the back knee and step the foot in. You don't want a wide stance. We're coming into Parivrtta Trikonasana, so revolve triangle. Inhale and draw the chest up in line with the hips, and then exhale, revolve. Just see where it works for you today. So you can either have the hand on the inside of the foot, or like I'm doing, take it to the outside, length through the spine, revolve from the navel center. Pull back on that front hip. And then top hand to the hip. Inhale, draw yourself up, the arm coming beside the ear, and exhale, bringing that left hand down to the hip as well. So we're going to bend into that front knee and step the left knee up and then cross on over. Bring the hands into prayer pose, and then maybe sink a little bit deeper. So this can be where you're going to work today. Hang here, come out, go back in, do what serves you, or you can work on just sort of folding over that front knee. Now wrap the toes around your arm, and only if you want to work it today into an arm balance. Keep coming forward, weight into the hands, lift the heart, and then draw that foot away. Inhale, take your time, don't worry if you're wobbly. Bring yourself back, hands into prayer. Again, as a variation, you can start to cross over now to the other side. So tuck that left knee in, cross on over, weight into the hands, and then maybe drawing yourself up into an arm balance. You can straighten the legs for those that are used to these arm balances and are going to the next phase within their practice. And then wriggle your way back to where you were, and you can start to straighten, draw the knee up and back, steady, 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 and don't worry if you wobble. Come through your Vinyasa, breathing. Don't forget to come back to the breath. That's your savior now because you're working strongly. If you're flowing arm balances into your Vinyasa practice, of course the mind and the breath can get erratic. So it's that Vinyasa flow that just gets us back stable again. So here we are working the other side, heel to heel alignment, and then come on up into Virabhadrasana 1. So it's a strong warrior energy. It's meant to make you feel alive, potent, full of heat, full of power. And then reach on back. So right hand sliding down the back leg. The top hand you've taken chin mudra, index finger and thumb together. And you keep on reaching back, squaring the hips as much as you can to the front. And then inhale, both arms up, and exhale. It's still working on squaring the hips around, but you're in a nice wide stance, so don't worry too much. It feels slightly off alignment, but that's the intention, to square the hips to the front of the mat, not to the side of the mat. You can inhale and look up, get yourself more length, and then exhale, sink down a little bit more. Front knee can be bent or straight. See what serves you. So pull that back leg in a little bit. Inhale, chest in line with hip, and then exhale, start to revolve. Inhale, length comes through the spine. Exhale, revolve from the navel center. Press down and away with the outside edge of the back foot. Beautiful, everyone. Inhale, top hand to the hip, and draw yourself up. The arm on the right side can be straight before the hands come to the hip to prepare to bend into the front knee. That back knee flies to the sky and crosses over, and sitting down a little bit into this pose, hands in prayer. See where you want to go, remain here. If you're working on that arm balance, you can wrap your foot around the top of the arm, step the hands down, fingers spread, lift the heart center. As you pull the bandhas in, you might be able to just hover here for a little while in this arm balance. Maybe you want to straighten that back leg, draw yourself back. Same as the other side, we're going to start to revolve our way around. So inhale, length, and then exhale. You can press your knee in a little bit to get yourself up and over for the twist, and then working yourself into this side arm balance, like a version of side crow, but with the legs crossed. And you think, how did we even get into this pose? This is all a bit crazy, but we know if we just keep breathing and take a step at a time, we might find ourselves there. There's that exhilaration and breakthrough. So we're back into the Vinyasa, and no doubt you're perspiring by now, and your heart's racing. So I encourage you, just come back to this moment, this breath, this golden energy that's flying through you. We certainly can awaken so much within us if we just focus and we breathe and we allow prana to move into all our meridians. So from downward facing dog, come into balasana, child's pose, and wrap the arms back and around the body and just be restful. Be mindful. Be yourself, whatever that is. However you feel in this moment is perfect. And that can range from feeling completely blissed out to completely fatigued to completely irritated. Whatever it is that's within you now is perfect. Learning not to resist in this life can serve us in so many deep ways. If we say yes to what is, so it's a practice in yoga called santosha, simply saying yes to what is, and that includes having chaotic experiences in our lives, and it includes feeling sorrow, grief, depression, anxiety, anger, any of these painful emotions that arise. We're being taught in yoga to say yes to them. And it sounds like a paradox. Why would we say yes to something that doesn't feel good? Well, the reason is because we compound things when it's happening anyway, and our mind says no. If we drop into the space, into what is, into the pain, it's actually quite fleeting, and it serves to teach us something about our deeper nature. So say yes to what is. In every moment, cultivate that ability not only on the mat but in life, just to be present. Let's inhale and sit our way up, and we're going to just say yes to our back bends today. Some of us don't like to say yes to back bends, but see how we go. We're going to come into our camel pose. It might be a big yes for you. You might just love this kind of work. So just to prepare, take the hands into the hips, press the heel of the hand into the top of the buttocks, and that'll fire the energy into the lumbar spine. You want to inhale, lengthen through the front body. Lengthen through the front body for a back bend, and then exhale, release back. Keep pressing your hips forward. If you can, you keep the alignment of the hips over the knees. So it's just a series of inhaling length through the front body and exhaling back, bend. And then if it feels right for you, take the hands down onto the heels. You can inhale and look up, press the hips forward, and exhale, maybe go for a deeper release. Beautiful feeling of releasing fear, opening chakras. Let's bring that left hand up to the ear and then extend on out. It might help as the arm extends to take you deeper into the pose, and then releasing back to the foot or back hand onto the buttocks, wherever you are working in this pose. And then the right side, extend that arm back. See how it feels. Nice deep release into the thoracic spine. And then taking that hand back. And then you want to drag yourself forward and out of the pose. And bring the hands into Anjali Mudra. Just pause here. Just see how your spine is feeling. And remember to say yes. Yes to this feeling. Whatever is arising within you. And knowing that it is very normal to feel resistance and fear when we're in our back bends. So we're going to now set ourselves up for our wheel pose, coming into cross legs and drawing the buttocks down into the heels. The feet will be hip width apart, the heels are nice and close to the buttocks, and we'll move through Setu Bandhasana. So the beautiful bridge pose, and then you can choose to remain in bridge, or from there you may want to go on into wheel. So inhale, press the feet down, and exhale, bring the hips up. And then if it feels okay for you, roll the shoulders under, interlace the fingers, then inhale, press the feet and the back of the arms down, and exhale, press those hips up a little bit higher. Keep breathing and isometrically move the knees towards each other. Be soft, and then only if you're going on, turn the hands back, press into the feet and the hands, and draw yourself up into this glorious full back bend. Chakrasana. Feel the exhilaration. And inhale, lift the heels. So what I'm going to do is a good 5 breaths with the heels lifted. Bring the heels down. Walk the feet in. Another 5 breaths here with the heels down. I'm going to work the energy back into the arms. The heels will lift for another 5 breaths. And then I'll do it one more time, working those heels closer. 5 breaths, heels up, 5 breaths. You won't be able to see me if you're doing the class with me. So just listening for the instructions, but of course finding where you need to be today, coming out of your pose if you need to. It's nice and strong. So just be loving towards you. Never want to push and strain and struggle in a yoga practice. So when you're ready to come out, you can bend those elbows. Tuck the chin to the chest, back of the head down, and then lay the spine all the way down into the earth. And you want to find neutral spine here for quite a few breaths because that was a nice deep opening. So really allowing that lower back to press down into your mat. Again, gathering the energy from Mother Earth and also from Father Sky above you. We're going to take the knees into the chest, moving as slowly as we need to, just to allow the spine to feel good. And then just like we did at the beginning of the practice, let's take the knees out a bit wider, draw the knees down towards the mat, and you can reach up for the ankles, inhale, and then exhale, draw the knees down into the mat. And only if it serves you today, inhale, you can reach up for the sides of the feet, and exhale. Keep the lower back grounded and draw the knees down. So beautiful. There you are, back to that happy baby pose, reminding ourselves of simplicity, the joy of breath, the joy of being as we rock side to side. And we let all our mental furrows, worries and concerns just drift away as we drift side to side, feeling how beautiful this movement is for our spinal column. Letting go. So we've centered back up, drawing those knees down and into the chest. So we've been in some really healthy back bends. We're going to take it into a forward bend, and that's our plow pose. To prepare, I want you to circle around with the knees in one direction and then the other, just to ensure that your lower back is feeling good to transition now. It doesn't look like a forward bend, but that's the action. Where we were in back bend, now we come to forward bend, plow, halasana. Inhale, draw the legs straight, hands down, use the bandhas to draw the legs back over the head. If your feet aren't to the floor, have your hands on your lower back. Otherwise, roll the shoulders under, interlace the fingers and extend the arms out. You might be able to walk the feet back a little bit more and work the heels down into the earth. The knees are straight as possible. You've got Jalandhara Bandha, chin really locks into chest. Now, just support yourself, bringing the hands up onto the lower back, and then you can melt the toes out, straighten the legs, interlace the fingers, extend the arms. When you're ready to go on, you're going to bring those hands back onto the lower back and then fly one leg up into the sky using the bandhas to control this motion, and then the other leg. The elbows work towards each other, and if possible you're stacking the ankles over the knees over the hips, and the hips over the shoulders. Beautiful Vinyasa, said to be the queen of the asanas. So feel the dignity and the royalty of this pose, and knowing that you're receiving so many benefits physically and metaphysically. Just so beautiful. Now, only for those who want a variation, draw the legs down into Padmasana. You can certainly use one hand or both hands to kind of tuck yourself there into the pose. And then if it serves you today, both hands are used to press the knees away. So it's like a shoulder stand, but you've got the legs in lotus and you're pressing the knees away so the arms can be straight. Really be careful now, keep the chin locked into the chest. Beautiful release for throat chakra and the sternum. And then when you feel ready, hands come onto the lower back. Just support yourself, hands down, roll on up, and there you are in seated pose. So if you have been in lotus, just come out for a moment and we're going to all come together and awaken the hips. So you can have that right leg come in front of the chest, wrapping the arms around, drawing the spine as straight as possible, and drawing that lower leg into the chest. Here we are on the left side, and just enjoying this beautiful release, flowing down through gallbladder meridian, pulling into the hip. Very, very much about cleansing and letting go of the things that we hold on to that we don't need to anymore. A lot of childhood baggage gets released as those hips just sort of come back to their natural state. So now your choice, we're going to do a still mind meditation. You could be here in Siddhasana, or if you find that you were quite open with the hips and you want to come back to Padmasana, you can find that pose now, or you can do a half lotus pose, half Padmasana, by pulling one foot up into the groin. It's really important that you're comfortable. That's all that matters here. If you want to have the legs straight out and a bolster under the knees, the spine against the wall, that's your perfect pose. So just take whatever posture feels very nourishing to you. And as we come into a still mind meditation, it's going to be just that. I'm not even going to talk. I just want you to do a body scan, starting from the top of your head, scan through the body parts to the ends of the toes, and from the ends of the toes, scan through the body parts to the top of the head. And I'll be back soon. Gently opening the eyes and then releasing those legs out nice and slowly if you're in the full lotus pose. Wriggling back to Siddhasana, one heel in front of the other, and then hold the knees and roll yourself onto the spine, drawing your knees into the chest, and then just setting yourself up for beautiful Shavasana. Let yourself extend all the way back onto your mat. Have a wriggle around, get your clothing right, look up, and do shift around until you're nice and straight. It's an important part to prepare for Shavasana. And then lay on down with the feet turned out and the palms turned up. And just feel the joy once more of the back really soaking deep into our Divine Mother Earth. Allowing yourself to be held, to be nurtured, and to feel through your front body the openness into the vast cosmos that lays out there. And what is out there? What is this universe that we're a part of? Know that that universe exists both within you and around you, that you are a divine expression of all that is. And when we come into that I am presence, that knowing that we are divine, we really start to shine our love and our beauty and our worthiness without self-consciousness. We don't find that it's an issue anymore to hug people, to express loving comments, to reach out in kindness. We go deeper, we see that all beings are in pain, and so compassion comes easily for us. And we give that gift first of all to ourselves. Compassion, that part of us that knows that we really are doing the best we can with the awareness that we have. And so we allow ourselves to just be here in this feeling of compassion, love, acceptance for all that we are and all that we have been and all that we will ever be. So I leave you now to rest and to breathe. As we come back from our Shavasana, bending our knees and placing our feet down into our mat, and then drawing the knees up into the chest. Inhale, flatten your back, and exhale to start to get that same roll along the spine that we did at the beginning of our practice today. So gently rocking back and gathering momentum, allowing the bandhas to draw you up into sitting, and maybe you can tap the feet over the head on this final one before we come into Sukhasana, cross-leg. We're going to come into Parivrtta Sukhasana by taking the right hand against the left knee, left hand behind the buttocks, and just revolving from that navel center, deep twist into those digestive organs, looking back over your shoulder. And then as we flow on, we're going to inhale, bring our head back to center, and then exhale, set ourselves up for the other side. So it's a nice length through the spine, shoulders soften. Use the exhale to twist and deepen from the navel center, pressing against the knee, and just get that lovely cleansing out of the digestive system and just a lovely realigning for the spine. Before we inhale and come back to center, scoop up the energy around you, beautiful arm circle, tapping on to the third eye, purity of thought, tapping on to the lips, clarity of speech, tapping on to the heart, kindness of heart. Namaste.
most beautiful sight. So beautiful, so beautiful.